Brew Strong is brought to you by Blickman Engineering, home of the top-tier brewing stand. Visit them online at blickmanengineering.com.
For the beer radio you've been looking for. This is the show that dispels myths, tackles the toughest topics, and makes no apologies for geeking out on beer. Hosted by two guys that drink before they think. Jamil and John Palmer. This is Brew Strong.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters.
Greetings.
We're live here at the AHA National Homebrewers Conference, San Diego 2015.
And a stellar group of people it is.
Stellar?
Okay, planetary?
Yes, okay. Much more rotund.
Yeah, there we go.
Much more rotund crowd. I fit right in with this crowd.
Me too. Yeah.
I've got the same shape as many of the people here.
Mm-hmm. And
no offense. You all look marvelous. You all look marvelous. Yeah, with all these thin people standing up front here. Where's people more my shape? Come on, bring those people out.
It's kind of like the planetary aspects. Like, we move around at night, and I kind of can't see us during the day much.
What? Yeah. Everybody's gone when the sun comes up. You can't see them anymore. Yeah. They're like we are like the stars at night.
Wow.
We come out and shine.
This is poetic.
And then
so when we
daylight
talk about
comes and we're all unconscious in our rooms.
So when we talk about homebrewing is growing, you're not talking about like we're fat.
Well, some of us are.
Yeah.
Some of us are maintaining our girlish figure.
Okay.
Yeah. You're looking pretty good there.
Thank you.
We're still looking all fit.
Yeah.
Beverly's looking girlish.
Beverly looks girlish, as always.
Yeah. Right.
Bush looks girlish.
Look at him. Still, to this day.
Yeah.
Very good. And our fine, fit Gary Glass here.
Yes. I think fit is an overstatement.
But fine is okay?
Fine is perfect.
Right.
And slim.
I can accept that.
Our still alive Gary Glass.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's the conference going?
It's been fantastic.
Yeah. It seems like it's running very smoothly.
I
love the layout with the events outdoors, and
it's been great that we were able to take over the entire hotel.
Mm-hmm.
We can do whatever we want on the hotel grounds, like throw a massive party for homebrewers outside.
Outside, yeah.
I saw minimal vomiting. Minimal vomiting.
Yeah.
I witnessed none, so...
yeah, that's what I mean, zero. Oh, that's pretty good.
I thought you were just referring to you.
That's what we strive for. And
we strive for zero vomit.
Is that on the whiteboard in the AHA office? No vomiting, as the things we're striving for?
Goal 1, no vomit.
No, but we might have to add that to the list.
Yeah. Now that I got you thinking about it.
Yeah, because Jamil is coming to these conferences all the time, and you never know what might happen.
You never know how often I will be vomiting. Every once in a while, I'll just kind of cough, and there's a little something there got past me from lunch.
All right, speaking of things that are gross, though, I did want to ask, part of hosting club night outside, be honest with me, it was about the gas, right? Like, you finally found a solution to the gas problem at club night.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There is a bit of posterior odor.
Yes.
Around. Going into the bathroom over here, I noticed that it really reeks of rear end going up to the bathroom. It smells less in the bathroom than in the little corridor up to it.
Oh, dear.
I'm wondering, maybe people aren't able to quite hold it.
But then this is what I'm saying. I'm kind of being serious, is that I love club nights, one of my favorite nights of the year. But by Friday of NHC, people have been on the road for a few days. There's a lot of fast food being eaten, and then there's a lot of beer, obviously. And so by the time we get to club night, it's not nice. I have to walk around with my nose in my cup half the time. And last night I'm going, Gary Glass is a genius.
No,
have club night outside.
We got amazingly crop dusted a couple of times. Like, whoa.
Oh, man.
Blowing on past.
Fresh air is a good thing.
It is.
That is something we were looking forward to here. Hard to repeat elsewhere because,
and
elsewhere,
just the right amount of
tends to
drizzle
rain in June and on occasion. And
it seems like
it tried to here, which scared the hell out of me. But
it seems like the conference is, getting stronger and better and faster and jumping higher. And how is it that the conference is doing so well and that things are moving forward so greatly for homebrewing, especially around the conference, which is my greatest. I tell people this is the greatest beer event in the world. And when they come, they believe me. They're like, yeah, you're right. I thought it would be GABF, or I thought it would be Oktoberfest, or I thought it would be
so much better.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, there is nothing else like this event. The reason it is what it is because of the attendees. It's the members of the American Homebrewers Association that show up and are ready to have a good time, but do it in a
responsible.
Which shall I say responsible? It seems like that's too strong a term, but
hey, zero vomit. That's responsible.
You think about your average beer festival. It's a lot of people who aren't nearly as experienced as the group that comes here.
Yeah.
And the people here are really about tasting each other's beers and enjoying those beers. It's not a bunch of amateurs.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and I've noticed a lot of other people trying to start setting up these homebrewer conferences, especially internationally. There's been quite a growth in that. What do you think their challenges? What challenges did you have? I mean, this wasn't always this great a conference. I mean, it was great hanging out with homebrewers, but it was, 200 people, 150 people.
A lot easier
in
to
Texas,
organize in the past.
Well, yes. I mean, easier to organize. Yes and no. We've got the American Homebrewers Association has a distinct advantage of being part of the Brewers Association. Mm-hmm. So a larger group. We've got an events team that puts on the Great American Beer Festival and the Craft Brewers Conference. The level of experience of our staff is I think what really helps to make this such a great event. I mean, we've been doing it for this is our 37th annual conference.
Wow.
And the people on our staff have been around forever because we have great jobs and we try really hard not to lose them, myself included. Bob's around, don't fire me.
By lose, meaning getting fired for incompetence or something. Yes, right. No.
There's always that possibility. I try really hard not to slip up. Right. But then I'm on your show, so this is clearly a mistake on my part.
Good effort, Gary.
So one thing you're saying, though, is you have a national team that kind of oversees the local clubs and the local participation in organizing the event.
Right. I mean, I think we've come to a really great balance of working with the local committee to make sure it's fun and keep that aspect going, but having a really great team that knows exactly how to execute a major event, like an event for 3,000 homebrewers.
Yeah.
Right? You used to depend a lot on the local committee to do a lot of the stuff, and you as it grew, it became more and more difficult for that to happen. And, the people were, at the end of it, you were just exhausted and didn't want to do another one. And so you moved a lot of those responsibilities back to your team, and I think that made it easier for the local committee, and it ensured, a consistent quality for all the events.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when it was much smaller, obviously the AHA was smaller. We just didn't have that much of a budget. We didn't have that many people either. Mm-hmm. So it's really a matter of scale. So once we got up to this scale, we have the resources that we can bring more of the event in house and build that institutional knowledge over years, and not be dependent on volunteers to do so much of the work for such a huge event where they get burned out.
Well, the Australian conference, I remember we were in Colorado and they were talking to me about their very first one, and they took a lot of lessons from the AHA version and took that to Australia, and I think that's one of the reasons that they had such great success there. They modeled it a lot of the stuff very similarly to what we do here.
Yeah, they gave us the chance to make all the mistakes and ahead of time and figure out what works and what not to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been fascinating for me to watch the evolution of it. This is my 9th conference. My first one was Florida.
Yep.
And Florida was much smaller.
Your count is wrong. This is your 10th.
No, it's not, because I didn't come my first year, I think. Oh, Florida was then 10 years ago?
Well, that was 9 years ago, but...
So this is my 10th.
This is your 10th.
So I got math wrong again.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, use your fingers. I find that works really well.
Florida... Right. It's still not working. Yeah. 10th conference. It was much smaller. And I remember then, I just want to talk about some of the things that you've learned, because one of the things that just transitioned recently is cellaring of the beer. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's tons of events happening here. That's one thing we think about. But what about that very important part of getting beer cold and then to where it needs to be at all the different parts of the conference? That used to be handled by local clubs at these conferences, which is such an enormous endeavor. And how do you guys do it now?
Well, now we have a 14 person staff of beer service crew that we use every year.
Okay.
So they do it year after year. We pay them to be here. We pay all their transportation costs. So it became such a huge. I mean, there's thousands of kegs of homebrew here. Depending on volunteers to do that, they spend all the entire conference just running around and didn't get to enjoy any of it. So we finally figured out that it needed to be brought in-house. Use the same people so they can learn from year after year, and they're very, very efficient now.
They are.
And they really know what they're doing, and they work their butts off.
So this is something that other conferences can learn, is when you have something enormous like that, is sometimes you do just have to pay and hire some people to... I remember delivering kegs back then, and always just feeling so terrible handing over a keg, because I knew how hard they were working, and I could see the stress on their face. I delivered a keg.
You knew how bad your beer was.
I knew how bad my beer was, so I was wasting their time,
right.
Clearly. I delivered a keg yesterday, so in the heat of things, right, it was, for club night, they were so calm and collected, and it was such a piece of cake that I could see the difference.
Yeah.
So something other...
They're real pros, and we've got a partnership with Grog Tags that we use them to label all the kegs, have the clubs label stuff in advance.
Okay.
It really streamlines the process and has worked out great for us.
Okay. What are some other lessons that maybe other countries or places that want to hold a homebrewers conference that you've learned over the years might learn?
I guess know the fire code. That would be one.
Oh, yeah. Some of these small details.
The alcohol laws.
The alcohol laws is that's a big one for us now. I mean, when we had a few hundred people, we were and several years ago, before anybody knew that there was such a thing as homebrewers,
right.
We definitely were flying under the radar. And I look back at our history of where we were doing the conferences, like, totally was not legal to do that there. Not so much anymore. When you got 3,000 people attending, if alcohol beverage control shows up, we want to make sure that we're doing exactly what they tell us to do, and that's what we're doing here. You see the signs entering homebrew zone here. And
talk to us about that.
That's all about following what the law says we have to do.
And state by state, it's different. This is something I don't envy you for. We have to deal with it when we do our BNA party, because we follow you guys for that party every year, and laws are different in every state we go to. So this year, some things I've noticed people taking photos of signs that say homebrew is not a regulated beverage by the U.S., whatever they say.
Yeah.
You also have right here exiting the homebrew serving area. What is that here that you have to do? Can you describe a little bit?
Yeah, the law here, which was just recently changed and actually recently changed twice in the last 2 years. It does require that homebrew be served separately from commercial beer.
Okay.
And that's not it wasn't really aimed so much at events like this, but more so like beer festivals and things like that, so that consumers don't get mixed up about what they're getting.
I see.
But that's the way the law is written, and so we're gonna follow that law, and
sure.
and it really hasn't been a problem. I think it's great. It actually highlights the homebrew. Like hey, you're gonna get homebrew here, and all the vendors who are serving homebrew, and a lot of them are. You know what you're getting when you're out there, and it's awesome to taste so many great homebrews and be able to see the quality of the homebrew that's here. It's totally able to compete with the commercial beer that we got here.
Sure. And while it might seem like just another hoop to jump through, I think it actually also it allows us to serve commercial beer. I know I've been to conferences before where there's pro night, and then there's homebrew, and that's that. But we've got, just on the other side of the cloth wall there, Lagunitas and Ballast Point and Bell's is over there, all in the Homebrew Expo now, and it didn't used to be that way. So it's
that's a nice change.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and that's also something that that's a process of our growth. Is it used to be pretty much all homebrew with the exception of one night.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with an event with 3,000 people, the scope is much bigger, and being able to provide, like, for example, the commemorative beers. I mean, Jamil helped brew one of the commemorative beers at his brewery. You just can't ask homebrewers to produce 3,000 bottles, or, well, in this case, it was
6,000.
6,000.
Wow.
No, it was way more than that.
More than
6,000? This is Saturday of the conference.
Yeah.
Math is
it's still stronger.
It's more
than
like
Justin's
12,000,
but
yeah, which is every day. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that too, because so I know you're saying that homebrewers can't produce commemorative beer like that, but even for pro brewers, Jamil, that's a lot of beer to donate, right?
I've produced 2 commemorative beers. One as a homebrewer with Harold Gabranson, Quaff, and Chad. We did one for, I think it was Oakland, or we did.
Didn't you do one for Vegas?
Or it was Vegas.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
We did one for Vegas, and then we did it at More Beer on a 3-barrel experimental system, and we barrel aged half and stainless aged the other half, and encourage people to share them together.
Nice.
Yeah. And so this year we did 1,000 bottles of a Brett Saison with Julian from Beechwood, and Mike Moraz of Moraz Brewing, and we all got together. We all still consider ourselves homebrewers. So
you did it at Heretic, though.
At Heretic, yeah.
Okay.
And it's a joy to be able to share beer with. I'm the worst person about charging people for beer in my tasting room. People are like, I give stuff away because I hate charging people. And so it's kind of nice to be able to go ahead and produce this and then just give it to everybody.
So how does that?
Thank you.
How does that work, Gary? Just so people know. And I know there was more than Heretic. There's other pro breweries involved here. Mm-hmm. How do you guys get commemorative beers?
Well, that is one of the things that we work with the local committee on. So Chad Stevens from Quaff helped line up the breweries that provided the commemorative beers, and we did work with. We had 6 different beers, which helped spread it out across multiple different breweries. So not every brewery, or you don't have one brewery having to produce all the beer for the conference.
Sure.
Spread it out, and also give the opportunity to try a bunch of different stuff that's made especially for homebrewers. And
are there guidelines that you give, or do you just let the brewers kind of have free reign of what they'd like to produce as a commemorative beer?
No, it's totally up to the brewers.
Nice. How did you guys come up with the style you made, Jamil?
Kick some emails back and forth, and I'm not sure. It's like any collaboration. We're like, well, what do you want to do? Somebody says, let's do a Saison, and then somebody says, what would be cool is if we could bottle it with Brett and have it aged. So if you didn't drink it at the conference, you could save it for 6 months.
Nice.
And then have this nice experience. And then somebody says, and let's dry hop it, and let's do this, and then you're like, oh, okay.
And before you know it, you've got a collab beer.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of homebrewers getting together and saying, hey, let's brew a beer together.
Yeah.
It's nothing more than that, other than the logistics of, well, what materials can we get? How is it going to be packaged? How's it going to get down there?
Sure.
Any, labeling, licensing, and all that sort of thing.
Well, those are the things that I want to thank you for and other pro breweries, because it's a significant contribution, I think, that we all get these beers. And if you think about the logistics that take place, that's tank space in a professional brewery, where they could be making beer that they're going to sell instead. It's ingredients, it's their time. And then, you have to think about Heretic is up in Northern California, so that beer still has to make its way down here. So as an attendee, Jamil, I appreciate pro brewers that do that. I think it's very cool.
Don't remind me of how much it costs.
Do you want to tell us?
No. I don't even want to think about it.
You don't know anyway.
Actually, the breweries help each other. Russian River, they brought the bottles down for us. We just took them over to Russian River, and they stuck it on their truck and got it all down here for us. So saved us a few $100s there as well.
The pros remember their roots.
That's right.
They do.
Absolutely. Yeah. I still consider myself a home brewer.
Yeah.
It's just a much larger scale now, and at times we do make money at it, so that's the difference.
All right.
Well, let's take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about international. I think that's a fascinating growth area, especially, we have so many listeners international.
Right.
I think that, it's a good opportunity for them to set that up. Unless you're, Gary, going to head up now the International Homebrewers Association.
Oh, I want to go to that.
The IHA. Think about it, Gary. It's a good idea. I think here's your chance to move up. I mean, you don't have to wait for Charlie to die to move up. Now you can move up with Charlie still alive, huh? How does that sound? Good idea?
Not sure what to say about that.
Yeah. If you want to keep your job, say nothing.
Yeah, we already do
show.
have a lot of international members, and we do have a lot of participation on an international level. So I mean, it's actually honestly something we've talked about on the governing committee about where. How do we navigate that, and at what point are we,
move from AHA to EHA?
Right. It is interesting.
You were thinking it. I know you were.
It is an interesting position for you to be in, for the AHA to be in, and obviously it's the American Homebrewers Association, but it does have such a greater reach. It's an example for other associations around the world, so people are really looking to the AHA for how to do some of their own, but they're also looking to the AHA as, hey, can you extend over here for us and help us out too? I think you're going to have some interesting, next 10 years or so, Gary.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's certainly I've met with several of the organizations in other parts of the world, and looking at ways that we can partner, because I mean, obviously we have an advantage of having been around for as long as we have, and have established what we've got. We can provide resources to some of those other organizations and partner with them.
You've been to some of these other conferences too, right?
Yes.
Which conferences have you been to internationally?
Well, I went to a Brazilian National Conference last year, and then just recently was at the South Beer Cup, which is it's a commercial craft beer competition. But the homebrewers are very much involved in it, and we did the best of show for the National Homebrew Competition for Argentina.
Okay, beautiful. I want to go to these too. Palmer's been to some. We're going to talk about some of these international competitions, conferences when we come back too.
Right. So 20, 25 years from now, you'll be invited.
That's usually how it works. Everybody from the Brewing Network gets invited first. Yes. And then, like the Australian conference, you've been 8 times or something. I know it's only 4 years old. But you've been 8 times. Yes. I finally got invited last year.
Right.
They ran out of people, literally.
Yes.
And I wasn't their first choice. I think somebody canceled. Right. And they were like, well, call Shithead over at the Brewing Network and see if he wants to go.
I think they were just trying to get some other people to go, and figured if they invited you,
cool people would also go.
It would,
if we invite Justin May, Jamil will come too.
That's probably what it was. Fine, I've accepted my lot in life. I'm okay with it.
It's
Gary invites me places. Gary likes me.
Sure,
it's true.
Sure, he does.
See, Gary's the one guy in beer that likes me.
All right. Let's take a short break and more right after this.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new boil coil coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy. Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Homebrewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious, Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. Adventures in Homebrewing have the knowledge and expertise to craft their own gear and original recipes. Some of the things homebrewing.org creates and manufactures in-house are the Brutus brew stands and propane burners, the Serial Killer adjustable 2-roller grain mill with 7-pound hopper, custom stainless steel false bottoms designed to fit kegels, coolers, and mini-sized brew pots. The brewers at Adventures in Homebrewing have designed a huge selection of original recipes for extract and all-grain brewing. Adventures in Homebrewing original recipes are tried and tested, proven to be of the best quality. And right now, Adventures in Homebrewing is shipping 24 of their best recipes for free. Visit homebrewing.org for the most current selection. Once you try one of Adventures in Homebrewing recipes, you'll keep coming back for more. And now, it's even easier with free shipping on these kits. Brewing Network listeners receive 10% off their homebrewing.org orders when they use coupon code IPA at checkout. See terms and conditions for full details.
Like the Lance Armstrong of the beer world. Except for that nut thing.
This is Brew Strong.
All right, we're back. We're talking with Ronaldo Ferreira from Brazil, who, I got to say, there must be 20 or 30 homebrew conferences going on in Brazil, because I've got invited to quite a large number of them, and I'm beginning to suspect some of them may just be some guy inviting me to his house to, I don't know, have a child with them or brew beer with them. I'm not really clear.
It's a good conference.
Yeah, but it's.
Well, I've been to Ronaldo's house. He's got a good brew system.
Okay.
There's some good beers.
So my question is, how many homebrew events are going on in Brazil? It sounds like a lot.
Yeah, the things there are a bit different. We are more state-driven.
Okay.
And not as national organized as you guys here. Mm-hmm. We have two big national events, which will be what you call here the JBF.
Uh-huh.
And we have a national conference that Gary Glass just talked about.
Uh-huh.
And those are the two national ones. Mm-hmm. And then all the other events that we have are usually organized by every state. And every state wants to do better than the other, so they invite the good guys. So that's why you're getting invited to all these places.
And who was the guy that invited me to his house? I don't know. All right.
But that's the difference. So you have more local events than national events.
Okay.
So the event that John was talking about is our state event. We do a technical event. Mm-hmm. And last year we had John, Stan, Euronymous, and Brad Smith, yeah. Uh-huh. And this year we had Danny and Drew. Mm-hmm. And we had Michael.
Why on earth would you invite Danny
Tonsmeyer
and Drew? They're just insane, those two people. And you put them together, and they're even worse.
See, you say it's a technical conference. You invite me. I'm more testicle than I am technical. I think that's me.
We'll keep on trying.
Okay, all right. I can bring the
what happens?
Try and be technical.
So when you invite people like Denny and Drew, what do they do at the conference?
Smoke dope. Eat a lot.
They do what we expect. Is we get in contact with these people that we buy the books, and you get to see in real person and how things happen. I think we narrow the gap between what we have, with what we have and what you guys have. So we try to narrow that gap.
I like that.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea of having people from mainly from the U.S. now.
And what does the technical conference then look like? Is it like this with seminars all day?
Yeah. It's much smaller. It's about 250 people.
Mm-hmm. That's still good size.
Yeah. And it's good because everybody has the opportunity to be in contact with each other and with the presenters as well.
Yeah.
So. And it's more or less the same thing you have here, just one room, not 5 or 6 like you guys have here.
Yeah.
But and then we have the technical. We have some fun stuff also, and we do have a small club night, which we do in the first night instead of the second.
Okay.
And then during the day we have all the commercial beers usually from the state. They send us beer, and there's also a lot of beer from commercial microbreweries. Yeah, so.
And do the attendees come from all over like they do here, or is it mostly local?
Yeah, we had last year we had people from 10 states.
Okay.
And from Argentina and Paraguay as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we try to get there's no restriction on whom can attend this conference. And our state association, which is called ASERVA, we have each state has its own, but we try to maintain the same name just to have to give some unity. If we don't have anything central yet, but at least we have the name to divide. Yeah.
And what is the association for? Is that homebrewers or is it craft? Is it?
It's only homebrewers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only homebrewers. Our association, our state association, has something like 350. People, very small.
Sure.
We're trying to get now people to understand the concept of clubs that you have here. This is not something that we have there. We try to make. I believe if it's not the first, it's one of the first ones we hear. It's called Armada. It's a group of homebrewers from our city, and we try to rise and do well in competitions as a group, as a whole. And I think that really rises the level of the beer. Yeah,
of course.
And we're trying to show that and make other people try to do the same, emulate that. Yeah.
And how about the legalities of home brewing and the conferences as well? I assume home brewing is a legal activity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Home brewing is illegal. It's the same as here, but it depends on which state you are. I don't know how things go here, but in our state, to do the conference, to have the club night, it's no problem.
Okay.
You're saying home brewing is legal?
Home brewing is legal. To sell home brew is illegal. Yeah?
Okay, same as here. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but home brewing is legal. There's no issues with it. As long as you don't sell, and then it's okay. Some states, they're a little bit harsher. They say, no, you can't have big events with home brew.
Okay.
But in ours, it's okay.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
And do you have the equivalent of an ABC like we do, where you have to get a permit for the event? And
we have to get just the city permit. Okay. So it's just general. Yeah, it's a general permit for the event itself. If we're making food, then it's a little bit difficult. But if we just say it's an event, a technical event like it is, there's no issue. It's really easy. Yeah.
And it seems to me that homebrewing is becoming so popular in South America right now, and I wonder why do you think that is?
It is. One thing is that there's a lot of space to grow because it was very small. Yeah? So, and I think the whole birth of the craft brewing, the craft brewing as an industry, that also gave the curiosity for the people. Oh, let's try to make something like that, and I think that really it is booming a lot. John had the opportunity. I invited Jamil. Maybe I'll invite you later.
In 5 years, I'll wait for the email.
When all the good ones are gone.
Thank you, Ronaldo. Thank you.
Well, John, you've gone to Brazil a couple times now, yeah?
Yeah, I've been to Brazil 2 or 3 times, and Argentina twice, and it's the same thing I've always said. It's like brewers are the same the world over. I mean, all of us home brewers and enthusiastic craft brewers and wanting to become professional brewers. It's the same spirit I found in Brazil. I mean, people want to share good beer. They're brewing beer to have unique flavors and to brew something special and share it with their friends. I've had many very memorable beers in South America. The quality is just as good here. The brewing prowess, because you all are listening to the same references that we're reading and
listening to Brew Strong.
Yeah, a lot. And I think that the learning curve is much steeper than what you guys had because of that. There's a lot more material, a lot more access to things. And our national conference was just last week, and we had 700 beers in the competition, which is quite good for
that's a good size.
That's a big competition.
Yeah. So Nathan Smith from here was there.
Yeah. And how the hell does Nathan get invited? He doesn't even work for the guy's a programmer.
Yes.
Jesus.
Well, he has friends.
He's welcome.
That's the difference. He has friends.
It's getting ridiculous now.
Well, and what would you, both of you, say to people in other countries that are just now thinking of having their own homebrew conference? What advice would you give them? I mean, John, you've been to homebrew conferences in many countries. Ronaldo, you're organizing one. What kind of advice would you give? What's the key 2 or 3 things that they must do in order to have success and get people to repeat and come back each year? And
I think number one is don't be afraid to go after the people you want to have.
Like Nathan, Denny, me, Palmer. Who else would be?
I don't know. I'm racking my brain.
Randy.
Push. Would kill myself.
But I think that's the first thing is don't be afraid to ask and talk. And now everything is so easy. It's in your fingertips. If you want talk to somebody, 90% of the times you will get an answer for something. So,
sure.
Yeah.
That's it. If you're eager to learn, I think it's an excellent hobby. And like John said, usually the people we meet are all excellent people. And the same thing that you have here, people said there also, like we had an event with 1,000 liters of beer and 250 people, and you saw nobody puking.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's a good. The level of education is pretty high. You don't make beer unless you study. So.
Right.
Well, and going on that, people you want to invite to your conference, I would suggest also inviting people like our great sponsor, Blickman Engineering.
Right, that's right. Yeah. Very knowledgeable guy.
Right, very knowledgeable guy, great person, and a lot of times people, do not get a chance to see some of this equipment, and having access to that, and some of these guys would be able to afford the trip themselves rather than.
Oh yeah.
No, but this is something we should say. We paid for all the expenses for everybody that went, so that's not an issue. Mm-hmm. The idea is you already give us a lot of time of your time to go there, and it's a 1-day trip and 1 day to come back, and you stay there for 4 or 5 days, 3 days, 4 days. So it's already a lot of time that you give it to us as away from your families and from your jobs, and
it really helps if you're willing to pay for the.
Oh yeah.
And so
Justin, you'd probably go if you paid your own way.
Those are the invites that I get. Actually, they're like, "Hey, we'd love to have you," and I go, "Sweet. So how does this work? You send me the flight?" And they go, "No. We'll give you a ticket to the event if you want."
Right.
This is how it works for me.
We'll give you a half-price ticket. Yes.
Excuse me. I am curious about how you promote it. How do you get the word out?
Yeah, as these events are not so big, 250 people. In my city, there must be something like 90 people already, so pretty much half of the event is booked ahead of time. The events are not so expensive in any terms. They cost something like $100 to $150 for a 2-day event. And with all these guys.
Per person, you mean?
Per person, per person.
Okay.
And when I fly out first class, you're going to have to raise your ticket price.
That would be an issue.
Yeah, not happening.
But to get the others to come, usually it's pretty easy. We do it in a lot of advance, because unless we do that, we can get the speakers. So by maybe 6 months in advance, it's already all set and all ready. And
I want to point out too that it's not just us from the United States coming down to speak. You have your own speakers, and the level of technical information that you guys are generating. Your own experiments, your own styles, and so on. It's all really fascinating for us to listen to. I really enjoy that aspect, even though sometimes it's in Portuguese and I got to wait for, Ronaldo to whisper what he's talking about to me. But I mean,
Well, Palmer shows up at these also, and people have T-shirts made with
cool.
Palmer slogans, and you're big in South America, dude.
Yeah. It was nice. It was a nice surprise.
We had a funny story that we were in the bus. I think Stan Hieronymus has that in his site. The story he told this story to make a review from Michael Tonsmeyer's book.
Okay.
And the story is a lot of people go into forums and stuff like that, and they make the stupidest questions that they don't even bother to
read the first.
What happened. So
right.
And then people usually respond or read the fucking Palmer, And so there is a hashtag RTFP,
right.
And people have T-shirts.
It's just read the fucking Palmer.
Read the fucking Palmer,
And Jamil talks about this too, because you used to you get email questions, and there's some of the simplest questions that you can, if you just did a Google search, you'd get an answer to it. And I remember one time, Jamil, you were like, "Listen, I don't mind answering questions, but for God's sake, you know how to use Google." And so read the fucking Palmer.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good answer, I guess.
Yeah. There's a shirt running around at Club Night last
night.
Fortunately,
only one shirt.
That I love this shirt, Palmer. I know you don't think it's very flattering, but I think this is flattering. And it says, "Palmer is a virgin."
It's just the most random thing I could imagine seeing at Club Night.
I can imagine. I wish I was there when you saw it for the first time, because I can imagine your face just going, "What the?"
Exactly. I was like, what the hell? It's like, that was very funny. I mean, we were rolling.
Probably would have been hurtful in like high school or college.
Now
it's just funny.
Now I'm
a couple years ago.
I texted it to my wife and my daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you think it's funny because I just ordered 200 of them to sell on the Brewing Network.
An official BN shirt now.
Yes.
Great.
I tell you.
People think I've got something to prove.
Well, I think it's exciting that homebrewing is growing internationally so much, and I think it's especially exciting that you guys are trying to organize already and do these events like conferences and bring speakers out, because it's only going to help the hobby international in the whole world.
About the international IHA, we have been talking to Gary already to see if we can get some interaction.
Good.
Our national competition is already part of the calendar. From if you put in the calendar, it will be there. We do use BJCP for all of the competitions. And
good. Yeah.
This is also growing a lot there.
Yeah.
Slowly, we're getting qualified people to judge the homebrews and everything. So this is growing a lot.
And like Gary mentioned, it is a topic of conversation on the governing committee, and they're asking our opinions of how they can help. It's a large endeavor, because to move internationally doesn't mean to just move to South America, right? So there's all of these places, and they're still trying to navigate. I'm not defending them. I'm just talking about the conversation. They're still trying to navigate how and where do we even start. The starting point, I think, is difficult. But I do know that it's at the top of their agenda to figure it out.
You would be surprised how many people have the AHA
membership.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mainly because of the magazine.
Sure.
Because it's good stuff, and or because we don't use it for anything else. Mainly, we are down
Sure.
there.
If you're an AHA member and you visit the U.S., there's lots of places to use the AHA discount and help.
Yeah, and we already did. We are in 3 here from Florianopolis.
Nice.
And we got the opportunity to use it.
There you go.
And
a little bit of money back. You
Well,
can probably pay for your subscription in one
quickly,
trip.
yeah.
And I know that you all are already translating some of the resources available. I don't know if it's magazines, but I know that some of the books, Palmer's books and things like that, just to make it available to...
Yeah, How to Brew is available, and all the database from BJCP is pretty much all in Portuguese already.
Okay.
Yep.
I would like to ask, if someone were to translate Brewing Network shows, Ronaldo, would you be my voice? Would you be the one, please, and do the translation for me?
If that doesn't jinx me to go to other events,
no problem. You'll have to say, I am Justin Crosley. You'll never get invited anywhere again. I do believe we have a question here from the audience.
Yeah, hi, I'm Steve Antach. I'm one of the guys in the BJCP. We're still looking for guys to help out translating the BJCP style guidelines, particularly the new stuff, over to multiple languages. So if anybody... particularly if you're already a BJCP judge, but if you're heavy into the industry, Cicerone, true beer geeks, we need the help, all the help we can get to get the multiple languages going.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, give them your card.
Just get a hold of me.
I know the Portuguese is already pretty much all done, because it's very things are really, really big, and there are a couple of people that are really, they embrace the BJCP, and they're doing a lot of things down there, and Humberto Fröhlich and Marcus Odebrecht, they are people that are really, really in touch with Gordon Strong.
Yeah. Well, and then the BJCP goes and revises all of the guidelines, and now it has to be translated again, Steve.
It's been 7 years.
Yeah, it's been 7 years since the last one.
It's time.
Well, I think it's exciting. I love to see it grow, and in 10 or so years when I get invited, I think it's going to be cool.
All right.
Thanks, Ronaldo.
I really thank you guys for the opportunity, because this is something that we do. We listen to your shows, not only the Brew Strong, we also listen to the other shows as well, and
awesome.
It's really cool to be here. Thank you.
No, thank you, Ronaldo. That's
really
fun.
nice.
Awesome.
All right, another live Brew Strong from NHC. How many years you guys been doing this for me for nothing?
I don't know, 7, 8.
I love it. Just keep it up, guys. Just keep it up. You're doing great work.
We love it. We do.
Yeah, he'll tell me something different later on. Didn't you? I get my beating after this.
Yes. I got to keep you in check, man.
Right. Otherwise, my head gets too big.
Yeah.
I don't fit through the door anymore.
I've seen it happen with lesser hosts. So I got to keep you in check.
Speaking of beatings, our fine friend here, John Blickman,
always ready for a beating?
He's always ready to take one and to give one.
There we go.
So if you need a good beating, go over to BlickmanEngineering.com. They've got a great booth over here. Ask John for a beating; he will give it to you.
Yeah. And remember, John's just the face, not the brains.
He's brought me his nuts.
He just brought you his nuts. He just placed his nuts on the table.
He put his nuts on the table in front of me. They're much smaller than I imagined.
Kind of like mouse nuts, huh?
But firm, he says.
Good hamster size. A little more rounder than a hamster, I would say. But that's a fine pair of nuts, John. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody gave him his nuts, he said.
Ernest did, I think. Yeah.
Right, so apparently it's not John's nuts. These are secondhand nuts.
Well, it's a Brewing Network show, and it starts with vomit and gas, and it ends with nuts on a table.
Right. Another fine day at the Brewing Network. Thank you all. And as I said, make sure to check out all our fine sponsors, especially Blickman Engineering. He's been paying for the show for 8+ years, so you don't have to drop a dime. But if you're willing to help out a little bit, I would suggest doing things like picking up some merch right here. Great shirts and hats and stuff. Or if you're not at the conference, you could go to thebrewingnetwork.com/store, pick that stuff up. Any purchase you make, any profit goes to the bottom line of the Brewing Network and really helps out with the show. So don't be shy on that. You guys all having a great time at NHC? Yeah? All right. Stay tuned. We have 2 more shows coming up. Tasty's going to be here, and we're gonna talk all sorts of fun things with Tasty right after this. So until then, everybody, brew strong.
Brew strong.